While heavy compounds tend to be the meat and potatoes of every workout routine, isolation exercises play an important role in maximizing muscular development. There's a good reason why we see them incorporated in essentially every bodybuilding program. One study comparing single joint and multi-joint exercises showed that single joint exercises are just as effective as multi-joint movements for both muscle strength and size. The problem is there's a plethora of isolation exercises to choose from, yet only a select few are worthy of incorporating into your workout. While exercise variety provides a positive effect on enhancing motivation to train, you would want to consider the safety of the exercise and the stimulus it can provide to the target muscle. Our goal is to help you modify your training in a way that makes it not only safer, but more optimal for achieving muscle and strength gains. Therefore, choosing the right isolation exercises is just as important as having them in your training program. In this video, I'm going to share 7 isolation exercises you must stop doing and provide you with a safer and more efficient alternative to each one. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. Exercise number 1, triceps kickback. If you want to build meaty horseshoe triceps, this version of the kickback is, I would say, insufficient. This is because the muscle is only under significant tension for a small portion of the movement. Not only that, but loading is limited because of the position you have to be in. Maintaining tension in the back and rear delts, which requires more stability and thus more nervous system fatigue, which can also limit high threshold motor unit recruitment in the target muscle. While this exercise activates the long head of the triceps to a great degree, I prefer a movement that targets all 3 heads to maximize growth potential. One study published in the Journal of Biomechanics makes a solid case for training the triceps through a full range of motion for maximal development, showing that the lateral head of the triceps provides force and experiences tension even when the elbow is fully flexed. That said, a better alternative would be the cable crossover triceps extension, as it mimics the arm path of a kickback while providing tension throughout the entire range of motion. Or, if you insist on including dumbbell kickbacks for the purpose of emphasizing the long head of the triceps, doing so on an incline bench where your torso is supported by the pad with your upper arms parallel to the floor will activate them the most, according to this EMG study by Behrens and Buskis. Exercise number 2, dumbbell fly. A staple in Arnold's chest routine that helped him build one of the thickest pecs the Mr. Olympia stage has seen is understandably one of the most popular exercises for bringing up the chest. While the movement provides a good stretch on the pecs at the bottom, the top of the movement offers no tension in the chest since the line of force is directly over the shoulder joint. More so, the deep stretch puts the shoulder joint in a vulnerable position, increasing the risk of injury, making it hard to overload the muscle safely. A better alternative would be to perform cable flies, as they provide tension throughout the entire range of motion. Not only do cable flies offer a better resistance profile, but they're more versatile, allowing you to target different areas of the chest by simply adjusting the pulley. For example, if you want to target more of the upper chest, you'd simply set the pulley lower and perform a low to high variation. On the other hand, if you wanted to focus more on the lower portion of the chest, you'd simply increase the pulley height and perform a high to low variation instead. Exercise number 3, seated calf raise. Because the calves have been found to have the least amount of androgen receptors compared to muscles like the traps, they can be extremely difficult to grow. While this will deter most people from training their calves, I'd argue it's more of a reason to give them the attention they require. If you're in the minority of gym goers who actually train their calves directly, yet you fail to see any noticeable changes, chances are you're focusing too much on the seated calf raise. The calves are made up of two muscles, the gastrocnemius, which is the superficial muscle you see when flexing your calves, and the soleus, which is underneath it. And studies have shown that having your knees bent during calf raises decreases activation of the gastrocnemius and increases activation of the soleus. This is because the gastrocnemius crosses the knee joint, and bending the leg shortens the muscle and as such suffers from active insufficiency. Luckily, there's an obvious solution. Do your calf raises standing up. Numerous studies show that performing calf raises with your legs extended activates the gastrocnemius better while still providing adequate stimulus to the soleus, making it a win-win solution. Exercise number 4, side bends. Not only does the dynamic repetitive lateral flexion of the spine during side bends make you susceptible to injury, but it does almost nothing for your obliques. You see, the obliques work to rotate and twist the torso. According to research, exercises that require constant abdominal stabilization as well as body rotation generate the most muscle activity in the obliques. Out of 13 exercises that researchers tested, the captain's chair and the bicycle crunch showed to be the most effective for this particular region of the core. If I had to choose one, the captain's chair with some body rotation would be an easy choice. Not just because it showed slightly better muscle activity than the bicycle crunch, but more so due to the fact that it's easy to load. Exercise number 5. Dumbbell concentration curl. While the pump feels good and you feel even better staring at yourself in the gym mirror performing this curl variation, the awkward setup, light load, and unnecessary nuances of this exercise, such as supinating the arm and flexing at peak contraction, made it land on my list. Training for long hours in the gym and doing every variation is fun, but as we get older, efficiency becomes more important. The good and perhaps bad news is the biceps are very susceptible to damage and take longer to recover compared to other muscles. In other words, they need less volume than other muscles in order to grow. One study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research shows that performing curls from 50 to 100 degrees of flexion produces the same growth as going through a full range of motion. With that said, a better alternative would be a bilateral movement that allows you to go heavy. For this, I recommend a variation that's easy to load, like a barbell or easy bar curl, as these will enable you to stimulate your biceps to grow in half the time compared to a concentration curl. Exercise number 6, Sven press. While it provides you with a glorious pump, it's suboptimal for triggering growth. We know that mechanical tension drives hypertrophy, and its principles can be applied to training in two ways. Lifting heavy, which causes an involuntary slow rep speed during the eccentric, aka active mechanical tension, and stretching of the muscle under load during the concentric, aka passive mechanical tension. This press variation is unfortunately not good at either one. You simply need to look at the function of the chest muscles to understand why this might be a waste of your precious gym time. The pecs primarily work to adduct the arms or bring your arms toward the midline of the body. With this Sven press, the muscle essentially remains shortened throughout the entire movement. To achieve significant mechanical tension, you need to lengthen the muscle fibers of the chest, and it just won't happen with this exercise. When shortened, the pecs produce a low amount of force, and studies show that the pecs remain active throughout the entire range of motion. This means that training through a full range of motion is necessary for pec training, but it's especially important in the stretch position so you can take advantage of both forms of mechanical tension. So rather than using a limited load and partial range of motion, opt for a pressing motion that brings the upper arm away then toward the midline during each rep. For this, I recommend a dumbbell press or a converging machine press, as both will train the pecs through a full range of motion while also allowing the ability to load. Exercise number 7, front raises. Every horizontal and vertical pressing movement places a significant amount of tension on the front delts. That said, it's highly unlikely you need any more volume to grow this portion of the shoulders. Piling on more volume to a muscle that is often overstimulated may be the reason you're having shoulder issues. And if you've been lifting for long enough, you know very well how unpleasant it is to train with or around an aching shoulder joint. The best case scenario is that including front raises is redundant and adds nothing more than junk volume. The worst case, however, is it exacerbates a shoulder imbalance that can lead to shoulder instability and ultimately serious injury. While the front and rear delts are active during pressing and pulling movements respectively, the mid delts are often understimulated. So the next time you're thinking about performing some front raises, opt for a few sets of lateral raises instead. So there you have it, 7 isolation exercises you must stop doing and some better alternatives that will not only reduce the risk of injury, but provide a far better stimulus for muscle growth. Did you find this video helpful? If so, click the like button below as it'll truly help out the channel. Also, if you're an intermediate or advanced lifter whose muscle gains have stalled and are looking to jumpstart new muscle growth, grab a copy of my brand new program, Mass 5 Full Body. This is a high-frequency, full-body workout for intermediate and advanced lifters who are looking to take their physique to the next level. And right now, you can get an additional 25% off by using the coupon code MASS25. If you want to learn more, click the link in the description below. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe for more videos and don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next one. Peace.